Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Monday, February 4th, 2019. My name is Kelly. I'm a second grade teacher in California. And yeah, it's last recess right now, and it's been something of a day. It's been raining all day, on and off. So we've been on rainy day schedule all day, and they're trying some new things. They had us go to different rooms in the morning, and then they split us into rooms again in the afternoon at lunch, but they didn't tell us what room that they were sending the students to. So I luckily saw my kids and what room that they were walking into, so I was able to go pick them up on time. And then last recess, I guess they decided that wasn't working because they all went to the multi, which I think splitting them up is actually a really good idea if there's something for them to do in the rooms. And that's where this, and then when they tried at the beginning of the year sending them over to the Y, it's not working because they don't have structured activities for the kids. And so that's what we need to work on. So next steps, so hopefully that will start getting off the ground and working. But my day has been a little overwhelming. We get to school and we get started, and I looked at the desk of my student who left on Friday, and I'm like, I really need to clean that out and get his library books out and get it cleaned in case I get another student. And I think I was in the middle of walking over there when I hear this voice behind me, and I turn around and there's a student and a parent there. And it was a brand new student. She's not new to the school. She was actually supposed to be in my class at the beginning of the year, but she didn't come, and so she was dropped and replaced with another student. And then she did come and was put in a different class, and I knew her because she was in my ELD class, but then she left again. So she's technically not super new, but I don't know her parents. I didn't know she was coming. Her mom only spoke Spanish, so I was able to sort of introduce myself and get acclimated. But in the middle of that, another class walked in because there was a teacher out and a class split. So it was absolute chaos. So that kind of put me in a frustrated mood. So I get them seated. That class, they decided to take it upon themselves to find seats. I'm like, no, I want you here. So I finally got them seated. I got the new girl seated. I cleaned out that desk. It was a mess, and I threw papers away, and I was like, go, you can go to the library, unpack, go to the library, get a book. And then I'm running around trying to help students, and it felt like I never quite recovered from that rocky start. So, but yeah, so luckily, because we had the class split, our ELD was canceled because I was really behind in ELA. So we were able to finish our first read of the story today, and we hit phonics really well, I hope. And then we just did a science experiment. It was a lot of fun. We took 2 brands of paper towels. We put them in water to see which one was more absorbent, and then we put pennies. We stretched them out, and with 2 students holding the paper towel, and put pennies on them to see which one was the strongest. And it was funny because I thought, because it said get 200 pennies, I'm like, it's not going to take 200 pennies. It almost did. One of the brands held 183 pennies, and then the other one held like 63. And so that was a lot of fun. The students were really engaged and excited. And then we did the first question together, which was which brand was more absorbent, and so they could see how I wanted them to answer, and then I had them do the rest of it on their own. I have one student who still needs to finish it. And I'm glad I switched it because science is supposed to be the last half hour before RTI, but we don't have a full half hour. We only have like 20 minutes because then we need to pack up so we're ready to go at the end of the day. So it would have been wrong. So we just wouldn't have had enough time. So I switched science. We're going to come in. We're going to pack up first. Then we're going to do writing, I think. We'll see. And then we'll go to RTI. So yeah, so it's just been a real interesting day. So I don't know if I'm going to catch up with you after school, or if I will wait till tomorrow. It'll just kind of see how the end of the day goes. But I will definitely catch up with you later. Bye. Alright, it is now the end of the day, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a really tough day. It got off on the wrong foot. When I got the kids from last recess, it was pouring rain, so they came in and they were shouting and yelling, and I told them, put your heads down on your desk, and only one table listened to me, so I was kind of done. So I told them, I got them quiet, and I said, we need to go over the rules right now and expectations, because this is not okay. So we talked about, there were a lot of people who were running in the walkways, there are a lot of people who are kicking and splashing in the puddles, and we talked about why that wasn't okay while you were at school. And I told them, I said, I'm wet. My legs and feet are all wet, not because it's raining, but because people were kicking and splashing. Now I did tell them it wasn't them that had gotten me wet. It was the first graders that I'd seen, but still I wanted to stress to them, this is why it's not, you know, even if you're wearing rain boots, not everybody is out there equipped for the rain. So we did that, we packed up, and we only had like 10 minutes left. So I was like, you know what, I didn't want to get into the research writing. So I pulled out a writing prompt and put it up, and it was about groundhogs. So I explained what Groundhog's Day was, and we talked about what the legend was, and then I didn't tell them what had actually happened, but I asked them, do you want the groundhog to see a shadow or not? Which is I got that from Pocketful of Primary, her monthly writing prompts. So I put that up, and then I had a lot of people who just tried to give me one sentence, like, I don't want it to see its shadow because I want it to be spring. And so I made them, why do you want it to be spring? What do you like to do? So I kept sending them back, and then I had to do a lesson about, look, the word because isn't the beginning of a sentence, it's not a subject. And I wrote it up. I said, you can write, because what was weird is a lot of people would write, I want the groundhog to see a shadow, period. Because, without a capital B, because I want it to be winter. And I was like, that's not two sentences. So we had a little impromptu lesson about that, and that took us right up through RTI. And then one of the teachers was gone for RTI. So I have like 8 kids who do a program called MobyMax. I'm supposed to have 7, I think it's 7 children in my group. I had the 4 children from the split class, and then I had like 8 other students, and I was just I was done, especially since like 4 of my kids were missing from my personal group. And I'm like, I can't start. I mean, it's getting to be really obvious, like there's a correlation, because a lot of the children in my group get pulled out early, and they're also the lowest group. And it's happening almost every day. Every time we have RTI, like 1 or 2 of these children are pulled out. So I'm seeing, you know, if you're in school, maybe you would be more where you need to be, but they're constantly being pulled out or leaving early or coming late. So yeah, so I ended up canceling RTI and had the lesson and had them do other activities. And then we got through the end of the day, and we walked out, and there was a rainbow. So everyone was excited and happy, and we ended our day on a good note. So that was nice. So I did go ahead and write down what went well, which I haven't done since when? The 25th of January. So I wrote, one thing that went well is I got a new student, because even though it did happen in a way that I wish had been better and more organized, I'm happy to be back at capacity, so I don't have that anxiety hanging over me that I'll have a new student at any time. I'm happy that this student was originally supposed to be in my class, so I feel like my class is back where it was supposed to be. I'm really happy that I never threw away their AR folder, so I was able to give that to them. I had it all set up at the beginning of the year, and they're a really sweet kid and picked up things fast, and it's good. It's going to be a good fit, I think. So the other thing, we did our math review, our final review before our test tomorrow, and the kids overall did really well. Again, there were some that they did the work right and then they counted wrong, or they refused to do the work, and I had to tell them, get your work mat out and do the work, draw a picture. But once that happened, it all went well. And then the science experiment, which I was dubious about, it went really well, and the kids were really engaged, so that was fun. So rough start, rough day, but there were its bright spots, so I'm glad. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, and I will pick this back up tomorrow. See you then. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, the 6th, February 6th. I did not get a chance to vlog yesterday. It was really a busy day with the rain and just everything that I was trying to get done. I didn't have time to pick up the camera. Highlights of yesterday was we took our test on subtracting 2-digit numbers with and without regrouping, and overall the kids did really well. I had 16 kids get pass it with like an 70% and above, and then like 4 kids who got 60s, which is a 2. So they just missed a few, so I'm gonna rewrite the test, go over subtraction with them, and have them redo it. And then a couple of kids who just didn't understand it at all. Actually, one of the kids, it was a little strange. One kid that completely bombed it knows how to subtract. She was doing really well during all the unit up until then, and then I just think she was kind of out to lunch on the test. So I'm going to, when I rewrite the test, pull her back and have her do it for me and watch her, and hopefully it'll be a better score. I think she was just having an off day. So yeah, so today in the morning I've got collaboration with my grade level team. We're going to be looking at our essential standards in math that we're going to be teaching for the rest of the trimester, and plotting out when and a little bit of how we're going to be doing that. Then we're going to come back to the class right before lunch, and because my kids aren't going to be able to AR test in the morning, I'm going to have them AR test. And then I flipped my math schedule because we're starting doing math with word problems, or solving word problems with subtraction, 1 and 2 step word problems, and I want it taught a specific way. So I decided to go ahead and flip language arts and grammar and math, and we'll be doing math after lunch. And then it's a short day because it's our collaboration day today, so we'll finish up math. We're gonna do some other activities, and we have to do class dojo, and we'll probably do some Go Noodles, and I'm gonna try and throw a read aloud in there. I don't know if we're gonna have, I've been doing, because we haven't had time for research writing, I've been giving them journal prompts. So I might have time to throw in a journal prompt for them to do, because we're not gonna have time to really dig into writing today. But they still need writing practice. They really need writing practice. So that's the day, and I will catch up with you probably again after school. Bye. Hello everybody. It is now Friday, February 8th, and it's the end of the day. I have really just completely failed at vlogging this week. It was just really busy. Yesterday I had, well, today we were out of the class again all morning for grade level planning, which meant yesterday during all my breaks I was frantically trying to get sub-plans done, and then I also had to leave school early because I had an appointment that happened right when school would have been ending, and the appointment was like 40 minutes away, so I took time off to get to that. So I just never had time to pick up the camera. So yeah, it was just busy. And then today, like all morning we were doing planning, and then afternoon I had recess duty, and it's just been, and today was kind of a wash of a day. The substitute did a lot of review stuff with the students, and then my plan was I was going to come in and I was going to do math, and we were going to be going over how to do 2-step word problems. But then I decided that, you know, because at our last grade level meeting, it was mentioned sort of in passing that we were supposed to be spending 2 weeks on each story, and we've only been doing 1 week, and we've been feeling really rushed. So when I mentioned that to the rest of the grade level, they are like, well, why don't we go ahead and take 2 weeks for the story? So starting with this story. So we've been rushing and trying to get everything done, and then we just decided this on Wednesday. So my original plan was I was just going to give the whole test next Friday, but then I thought, you know, we've already done comprehension. We've read the story 4 times. 3 or 4 times. We've answered comprehension questions. We've done sequence of events for the story. I think they're kind of ready to take the test on comprehension now. It didn't make much sense to wait. And then the other aspect was vocabulary. We had learned in depth all the 5 words, and then done the skill, which was antonyms, and then the substitute reviewed antonyms. And while I am planning on going back and reviewing antonyms next week, I've already got that written in my plans, I think that they're ready. I mean, they really seem to understand it very well. So I went ahead, and after lunch we took our test on just vocabulary and comprehension. I haven't looked at them yet, I didn't have time. And then we were going to do science after last recess. We were doing, it's called a claim evidence response, I believe, CER, where based on the experiment that we did on Monday, they made a claim about which brand of paper towel was best for scrubbing a rough surface, and then they had to give evidence why it would be the best. So I was trying to explain to them what to do, and that was taking a while. We also had to put iPads away, so that took up like 5 minutes, and then we started the claim evidence response. I started explaining, I gave some examples. I was in the middle of running around because I have some kids who can't write, who aren't independent, so I was having them say it to me, and then they came on and did announcements for the PBIS winners for the week, and we won Otter Pops, and like, come up right now and get your Otter Pops. So I thought, you know, they need a lot more support. We have to pack up in like 5 minutes for Fun Friday. It's just, so we put the claim evidence, the CERs away for next week, or maybe in 2 weeks, or maybe we just won't get a chance to do it. We'll kind of see. So that's what we did. But otherwise, I mean, overall the week was really went well. We've been doing word problems for the past few days. They're doing really good at using their cubed strategy and then solving them correctly. So I'm really proud of them. Even yesterday it was, so Wednesday we introduced the skill. Tuesday was just sort of review and writing number sentences, and I would read the problem to them, and they just took it and flew. So I'm really excited. And then not Monday, because Monday's a holiday. Tuesday we're going to go ahead and do the 2-step problems, which are a lot more challenging, and then we'll see. But yeah, so that was my week. It overall was a very good week. It was a strange week because I was out so much out of the class, but you know, we got those planning times were productive. We planned out the standards for the rest of the trimester. We backwards mapped and looked at what we've already done, and we have that. So we've got a roadmap for next year, and then we talked a lot about, you know, what we're going to be doing for language arts. Language arts, we're right now not doing like for the math, we're doing 15-day challenge where we're tearing apart the standards and making our own tests and creating common formative assessments and creating summative assessments. So we're not quite there yet for language arts because it's a lot more complicated, but we're discussing it. We discussed it a little bit today, what we're going to do for next year when we do that. So that was my week. I hope you enjoyed watching. Hopefully next week I will get back to being more regular and updating every day. But yeah, so it was just sort of, it was what it was this week, and that's okay. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.